Hello, welcome back to Rev Solution. In today's video we're going to be looking at the Kawasaki Vulcan S 650 as potentially one of the most user-friendly motorcycles on the market to start off as a beginner motorcycle. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee and let's get into this video. Right, so the Kawasaki Vulcan, let's run through my personal preferences, which I think personally makes this a really good beginner motorcycle to learn how to ride a motorbike once you've got your license. So the first thing I'm going to say is that this bike is really low. It's 705 millimeters, which is a fantastically low height in order to be able to get your confidence up. Now when you start riding a motorbike, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and one of those things is obviously how far your feet are from the ground if you need to put your feet down very quickly for, say, an emergency. With the Vulcan, that is not a problem. So it's going to inspire a lot of confidence in your riding and stopping ability without having to guess how far away from the floor your feet are. They're always going to be very, very low to the ground. Now the Vulcan has about 61 brake horsepower, which is it's a mediocre power. It's nothing special, but that power is not intimidating. It is a very, very forgiving motorcycle. Now the beauty of that is that when you're riding, you can learn how to ride whilst using power without getting into a lot of trouble with yourself and the motorcycle. If you've got a bike with a lot of horsepower to start with, there is a potential for the majority of people to come unstuck. The Vulcan, usable power, not intimidating, and again, fantastic to learn how to ride a motorcycle with. Now, the Vulcan also has an Ergo-fit system. Now that basically means that it is the best motorcycle out there that can be adjusted for pretty much every riding style, every body size. If you're too close to the pegs, you can push the seat, the pegs and the handlebars back so you're nice and stretched out. It's just really user friendly, which is another reason why I think so many people go for the Vulcan, because if you're learning to ride, you want to make the bike work for you. You want to make it perfect, and the Vulcan can be done. Now if you're also looking to use this bike long distance, commuting to work, etc., you can add panniers. There is the option to make this bike really user friendly, extremely practical. Kawasaki do panniers, there are Givi, Shad, a couple of other companies, they all do hard pannier systems, leather style pannier systems. So it is a very practical motorcycle that can be used pretty much all year round. As I was saying, it is very forgiving in the power and also the revs. If you ride a little bit spiritedly on this bike, it is not going to throw you up to the speed limit. It's ridiculously quick. It's quite a respectable power. I think it takes about 3.8, 3.9 seconds 0 to 60 around the 4-second point, which is definitely a respectable time to get up to fast speeds for a beginner motorcyclist. So you're not going to blink and come unstuck. Now the mirrors also give fantastic visibility. Yes, in my other videos I've said they're ugly, and I will still continue to say they are very ugly. However, if you learn how to ride a motorcycle, you want to be doing your lifesavers, you want to be doing your mirror check. You don't want to be starting off on a bike that has got extremely tiny mirrors, and the Vulcan does not have small mirrors. Now the brake levers and the clutch, they are fully adjustable, and when I say they're adjustable, the actual lever positioning is adjustable, so if you find you're stretched out too far, you can bring them in. Likewise, if the levers are too close, you can push them out to make it fit perfectly. And then that's another great thing about this bike, the Ergo-fit system, along with the fully adjustable lever positions, make it a ride that you can tailor for your each and individual needs. The brakes are good, front and back are pretty sharp on this bike. Obviously the rear lacks a little bit, but the front definitely gets the job done nicely. Both working together, you're going to stop really quick. The clutch is a very, very nice light clutch. I've got no problem using this clutch in heavy traffic. You can easily bring it in, bring it out, and without getting any hand fatigue. So Kawasaki have done really well. Again, another good thing for a beginner motorcyclist. You don't want to be put off of riding the motorcycle. You don't get home and your hand is absolutely worn out. You want to get home and feel like you want to jump back on the bike and go for another ride. The bike is really cheap to run. I think the service on this bike annually is about £100, which is really reasonable. I can't see any problem with that at all. When you look at a lot of big bikes, and that's from Kawasaki, so when you look at a lot of big bikes, a lot of them come in at like £300–400 over 600cc, so it's not going to burn a hole in your pocket. And also the running costs in relation to like fuel, it's about £17 to fill up a tank. See, fuel prices are on the rise at the moment, so no doubt that will get slightly more expensive, but you're still going to get a decent amount of mileage out of this bike per tank of fuel. Now, riding this bike, it is a heavy motorcycle. It weighs in at 223 kilograms wet. That is an average weight of today's motorbikes. However, the weight is extremely low down, coupled with its 705mm seat, makes this bike's manual handling aspect quite easy. So you're going to build your confidence up manoeuvring a heavy bike, but you're not going to get put off and worried about it. So it is a heavy yet somewhat manageable weight to learn to ride a motorcycle with. Now, another good thing about the Kawasaki Vulcan is there are quite a lot around at the moment. A used motorcycle will set you back about £4,500, and a brand new one, I think they start the very basic entry level one just over £6,000. So if you're looking at the Kawasaki to be your first motorcycle that you want to learn on, you want to make it yours, you can either go new or spend a couple of £1,000 less and go second hand. There isn't a big difference in the market, and that is why I went brand new, to be honest, because you're really not looking at a big price difference. It's only a couple of £1,000. If you look at ones that are about £5,000 or £6,000 second hand, you might as well just go brand new. Kawasaki offers some amazing deals on their new Kawasaki Vulcans, so definitely check out, say, Bournemouth Kawasaki. That's where I got this one from. Have a chat with them down there and they will sort you out. Another good thing that I like about the Vulcan is that it is a simple motorcycle to get your head around. You don't have loads of really good gadgets and displays that you do want after a few years of riding motorcycles. If you're just concerned about riding and getting your head around the whole riding aspect, this bike is perfect. You've got a simple display in front of you. You've got a rev counter, which is nice, big and analog. You've got your speed in the middle. At night, this is still a very easy motorcycle to read the display on. Now, also, a lot of people get put off on the fact that a lot of bikes don't have a gear indicator. The Vulcan sorts it out, especially in the UK. The Vulcan sorts it out, because a lot of other countries, I'm pretty sure you guys don't have a rev counter built in to the actual display, whereas the UK version of the Vulcan, it does. So you can get your head around gears, what it feels like, and actually see the gear you're in. So that's another stress taken off you in learning how to ride a motorcycle. The comfort of this bike, it is a pretty comfortable motorcycle. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the feet being forward. However, once you've ridden it for a couple of miles, you settle into the ride, and once you've ridden it a good couple hundred miles, getting onto the position is just second nature. It's really, really straightforward. Got no problem with that at all. Also, another thing which is quite interesting about the Vulcan is that it's only a 650 parallel twin, pushing out about 61 horsepower, yet it looks amazing. It just looks the business. This is a cracking looking motorcycle. Doesn't matter that it's only a small engine, it moves and it looks good. So if you want a bike that is definitely going to give you some street credit, the Vulcan is going to turn heads. Unless you park in a Harley Davidson dealership, and then you might come to a bit of stick for driving a Japanese cruiser motorcycle. But it's affordable, and just like this, pretty much coming to a stop, my feet are completely flat-footed. Now on the handlebars, you got your indicator, nice and easy to access. You got your horn next to that, and you got your headlight. Straightforward, flick it over, job done. If you do want to mount a phone on the Vulcan, there's plenty of space on the handlebars to mount it, depending on what manufacturer you're using for your phone holder. I've gone for the Ultimate add-ons. I've got their universal case, a large universal case, because I've got quite a large mobile phone. Handling around corners is really easy. Pushing out the corner, again, such an enjoyable motorcycle to ride. It's also relatively cheap to insure. I've only been riding 3 years with zero no claims because I'm using my no claims bonus on another bike, my Honda CBF. It's only £40 a month, just over £400 a year. Now, no, a lot of you guys say that's expensive. You may pay £200 a year for your insurance, but for a new motorcycle rider, that's pretty good going, to be honest. When you look at the likes of a Suzuki GSX-R 750 that I once owned, that was coming in at about £1,000 a year, so there is a massive difference there. So if you are looking for a reasonably priced good motorcycle to learn how to ride on, and you are put off on the fact that this is a 650 and you want to start on the 300 or a 400, I wouldn't. I'd jump straight in at the 650. It's not a performance 650 engine, it is a low performance 650 engine, but it's got all the grunt you're going to need to get confidence in your riding abilities without getting bogged down by loads of technology. A high bike, a heavy bike to maneuver about, because let's face it, on this bike, if you want to move around when you're sat on it by pushing backwards, you can do, and it is really, really easy. You're not going to struggle to push the bike backwards, whereas a bigger bike and you're on your tiptoes, you may do. So in a summary to the Vulcan 650 as a great first time motorcycle, I've got to give it a big thumbs up from Revsolution. Go out, test ride one, and I can guarantee this bike will put a smile on your face, because every time I get on this motorcycle, I love riding it. It is brilliant. Now, another thing that I do like about the Vulcan, and I think is a very, very good aid if you are learning how to ride a motorcycle, is the fact that it is fantastic for filtering through traffic. It's nice and low, so as you go through traffic, you don't really have any issues with regards to the wind mirrors of cars hitting your wind mirrors or your handlebars. And also, if you do need to just walk the bike between some vehicles, you're nice and low. You can put both feet on the floor and you can just edge slowly forward. Now, the Vulcan also has some good acceleration. As you can see, we're in a national speed limit. We're going to take it up. There you go, nice and comfortable. You've got plenty of power to get up to speed. It doesn't hang around, but it's not a scary amount of power, so the bike will look after your riding ability as a new rider really, really well. Now, I am going to do a long distance review on this bike. I'm going to take it for a real proper ride, and I'll let you know what it's like when you're not just going locally around your local area. So once again, from Revsolutions, thank you for watching. Ride safe, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon.